It's the I Don't Want a Divorce podcast with Dr. David E. Clarke, Christian psychologist and author, YouTuber, podcaster obviously, and husband to the blonde. That's my Sandy. 39 years with the blonde. I am telling you, on the way to 40. As we get close to closing out 2021, this will be the last original podcast of 2021. I want to thank all of you for your support of me and the team here at the I Don't Want a Divorce podcast and the Ask Dr. Clarke YouTube video channel, video ministry. Now the team, I say the team is me, obviously, Sandy the blonde, Phil Dugas of Dugas Creative, one of my favorite son-in-laws, created my website, maintains the website, does my social media, produces these podcasts, and helped produce David Dugas, my wonderful grandson, and Nancy Dugas, Phil's wife, and our daughter, also very involved. Thank you for subscribing to the podcast and to our YouTube channel, and for leaving a rating and a review on Apple Podcasts. Many of you have done that. We thank you for that. We are growing. We are helping more and more spouses in crisis, and we're grateful for your support. Now today I share the final honorable mention responses to our contest. I stayed with my abusive spouse because. Now remember, I've mentioned this a number of times, my new Moody Publishers book, the updated version of Enough is Enough, How to Leave an Abusive Relationship, releases January 4, 2022. It's available now for pre-order. If you want a signed copy from me, sent to you by the blonde, her hands will actually touch this book, I'm just telling you, then you go to my website to pre-order, davideclarkephd.com, Clarke with an E. But you can pre-order it anywhere you'd like to, obviously for probably, I'm sure, a reduced rate, Amazon.com, Barnes & Noble, the Moody website itself. So I'm not sure if this may be already past Cyber Monday, but there would be a reduced rate for that. But anyway, you can pre-order the book. Doesn't cost that much, even so. Okay, let's get to these honorable mentions. I'm going to run through these, of course, with my snappy, edgy, and hopefully biblical responses. Okay, I stayed, and here's a good one. I stayed with my abuser because I was caught in the addictive cycle of abuse. Oh yeah, yep. And she wonders, and this is how the abuser keeps you on edge, keeps you off your stride. I wondered, how could it be that he could explode that way at times, but other times he could be nice? Yeah, it's back and forth, up and down. What version of my abuser am I going to get today? Am I going to get this hour? Oh yeah, that's how they keep you on edge. The addictive cycle with all its pain and suffering and instability and chaos and moments of happiness and hope. He'll seem to provide those. I say seem because it's not really true. It creates a trauma bond. You bond very tightly to your abuser and not in a good, healthy, and functional way. So yeah, that's a good reason. Another good reason to get out, because it will never stop. He's never going to stop the addictive cycle. That's who he is, the abusive cycle. Second one, and this lady's sincere. I wanted to believe my abuser was sincere and serious about healing himself and the marriage. See, he had told her this, and abusers will do this. Oh, I'll do this and I'll do that. They're just wasting time. They're buying time for themselves, and it builds their narrative. Well, I went to a marriage counselor. I went to several counselors. I went to a marriage conference. I talked to our pastor. I read this book. Well, who cares? If you don't change, I don't care what you do. God doesn't care what you do. Then she adds, despite there being no strong evidence that it was true, that he was actually sincere. Of course he wasn't sincere, but they can drip sincerity. They believe their own lies, and that's why she stayed. My response is, he'll make you believe he's sincere. He can win an Oscar for these performances. He might even cry. He'll make you believe he's serious about healing himself and the marriage. Of course, he'll tell you that a million times. Well, they're just words. He'll do things, but it's a waste of time. He's not sincere and he's not serious. It's a game to him. It's a con. He's playing you and he's enjoying it. That makes it an evil process. He has no intention of making any changes, but he knows that's what you want to hear. He'll give you what you want to hear, so you'll stay. You are a convenience to him. You will have sex with him. You will raise the kids for him, even though eventually he'll turn them against you. You will do his laundry. You'll make him look good in the church. You'll make him look good in society. You know what? That's all you're for. It's not about who you actually are. He is laughing at you behind your back. I've talked to these guys, and I know how they really think and feel. This is entertainment for him. It's an evil form of entertainment. It's even better when he makes a few small changes for a week or two, gets your hopes up, and then stops. He enjoys that. How many times can I fool her? It's a game. He loves it. It's not just sinful, it's evil, as I said before. Get away from him as soon as you can. Number 3. This is the good one. I stayed with my abuser because I was drawn to his charisma. Oh man, they got a ton of charisma. The happily ever after promise, she says, and he will offer that to you. He offered it to her. And I could see his vulnerability and his potential. Okay, it wasn't there, but he acted like it. Oh yeah, I truly felt he was my soulmate. My response: the abuser, who was also a narcissist, can sell the charisma like nobody else. He loves you like no one has ever loved you. It's a masterful performance, and that's what it is, a performance. You are certain you and he will be happily ever after. He's promising you that, and he'll give that to you for a while until you marry him. He knows that's the desire of your heart, and he seems to give it to you. He's offering it to you. He is not vulnerable. He has no potential, but he acts like he does because that's how the game is played. He was never your soulmate, but it sure seemed that he was and that he was going to be. He knows exactly what to do and what to say to make you believe it. Now, once he knows the pain you've suffered, he convinces you he will be the one to never hurt you. See, he finds out about your background and stuff you've been through and other traumas you've had and disappointments in previous marriages and how you were raised. So he knows where the wounds are. And so he'll promise you, I am never going to do those things to you. And you believe it. He believes his own lie so he can sell it. Instead, he hurts you over and over and over again and creates more and more wounds on top of the wounds that you've already suffered that he knows about. These are dirt balls. Dirt balls that rarely change. Here's one. Honorable mention. In my contest, I stayed with my abuser because I didn't know how to operate outside of the dysfunction. Oh boy, that's a good one. You create your own dysfunctional world when you live with an abuser. The dysfunction, the pain, the ongoing and unpredictable trauma become your only reality. So she's telling the truth. Instead of considering how you can get away from your abuser, you accept this awful world and do your best to survive in it. Well, I made my bed. I can't do anything else. That's the lie. You lose touch, if you ever knew, with what is normal and healthy and right. That can begin to change, and this book will help you do that. Begin to figure it out, become a stronger person, have a voice, get your identity back, and leave the dirt ball. Next. Again, this sounds very Christian. And frankly, it is in other contexts. I stayed with my abusive spouse because as a professing Christian, aren't we taught to forgive? And when you get married, it's for life? Many persons close to you will tell you that you made your choice to marry and now you're stuck. Too bad. The abuse doesn't matter. This is like being told you bought a vicious dog. You didn't know it was vicious. It was at the pound, seemed nice, but you get home, it's a vicious dog who bites you and your kids every single day. But you know what? You got the dog, you have to keep the dog. No, you don't. You know what you do? You get rid of the dumb dog. And the sooner the better. Yes, you forgive. And you're going to forgive your abuser. No question about that. But reconciliation is another matter entirely. You can leave him and forgive him. That works and it's biblical. And yes, marriage is designed by God for life, but there are exceptions and the Bible covers them. Abuse is one of the exceptions. You can separate and you can also divorce if God guides you down the divorce path. Number 6. I hear this all the time from wives of abusers. I have to stay with my abusive spouse because he has an addiction. You don't understand, Dr. Clarke. Oh, believe me, Dr. Clarke understands more than you know. He's a sexual addict. He's an alcoholic. He's a drug addict. He's a gambler. We can't help these things. I have to stay and help him. You know what? This may not have been the husband you married, okay, but it's the husband you've got right now. I don't care if he's an addict or not. Addicts can get into recovery if they choose to do so. The abusers aren't going to do that. He likes his addiction, and he's going to stay with it. It's more important to him than you, God, or anybody else. Now, if your abuser, after you've left him, frankly, is going to work hard in recovery and show repentance and be the next Billy Graham, I mean, everything works. There aren't many that will do this, but if he does that, fine. It's going to work out. But it's not your job to get him into recovery. Abusers, frankly, don't get into recovery anyway. Very rare. In fact, the harder you try to help them, the worse they get. Save yourself and the kids. Now, my opinion is, I've told a million clients this, one rehab is fair. We're going to do one stinking rehab. I don't care if it's your kid. I don't care if it's your son or daughter. I don't care if it's a relative. I don't care if it's your abusive husband. One rehab is fair, whatever problem you got. If that doesn't work and you relapse, boom, I'm separating. Get away. And for abusers, it's going to be, I've had wives that have been through 4 and 5 rehabs. They've been destroyed financially. It's a joke to him. But part of the narrative is, I am trying so hard on my addiction. I've been to 4 rehabs. I go to AA. Who cares? Stop it. He's not stopping it. Next, I stayed with my abuser because I did not fully understand the difference between my responsibility within a marriage and oppression. Yeah, well said. Many wives don't, and frankly, husbands either. There is a world of difference between these two. Nowhere in the Bible are you told to endorse ongoing oppression as part of your responsibility as a spouse. That would be sinful. It's sinful to be the oppressor, and frankly, it's sinful to endure it and not do anything about it. The marriage vow, for better or for worse, does not include chronic emotional abuse. It does not. And speaking of oppression, Satan is intimately involved in the abuse you are suffering. Oh, he loves it. He will do all he can to keep you living with an abuser so you can be damaged beyond repair and lose your children. Your children are damaged, and you'll be limited in your service for God, and the abuser doesn't change. It's exactly what he wants. It's not what God wants. He wants you out. Here's a good one. Very common reason to stay with an abuser. I thought I had no biblical reason to separate or divorce. Oh my goodness. I'm going to close with this one because it's very inspirational. This lady stayed with her abusive husband for 20 years. A lot of damage was done. Thought it was best for the kids. Thought she didn't have a choice. You know what? Finally, she figured out. And she had 3 kids under 12 when she left him. All right? Actually, that was not true. She had 3 under 12 when finally she began to see the light of day. All right? And I think it was 20 years because I think he had the kids later. So she had 3 under 12 and she got out. She realized, I think she read the Enough is Enough book and she got out. And she had a great pastoral counselor who understood the situation and said, you can leave and you should leave. And look what's happened here. Look what God has done. Her ex told her, you're going to be destroyed and God's going to condemn you. Lies, all lies. Turns out, she says, God had a very different plan for me and our children. The 3 kids, because she got out early, went on to marry wonderful people. She has 3 beautiful grandchildren. They see the dad every now and then, the ex, the abuser, but not much of a relationship there. And one of her kids decided not to have a relationship with the dad at all. Fine. You know what? She's in ministry at her local church. She's helping other abused spouses. Man, is that cool. See, that's what can happen if you get out. Your whole life can open up. I don't care how old you are, 25, 35, 45, 85. If you say, oh, Dave, it's been 30 years, it's been 40. Look, what can I do now? You can still get out. In the time you have left, God wants you to enjoy your life. So you can still get out. And you should. I will accept, as you probably have noticed in this series, I will accept no reason for staying with an abuser. I don't care what it is. Get my new version of Enough is Enough by Moody Publishers and get started on your escape. All right, it may take you a while. Got to get stronger, got to figure out abuse, got to go through the lies, but you can get out. Now, at the end of the year here, we're going to run 2 best of I Don't Want to Divorce podcasts the next couple of weeks as we close out 2021. It's hard to choose 2 of the best, but Phil Dugas of Dugas Creative will be able to do that. I leave that up to him. And again, we'll have some best of ones I think you'll enjoy. Then beginning the first week of January, in fact, January 4, we'll begin running all new podcasts. And these podcasts will be based, shocker, on my new Moody Publishers book, Enough is Enough. A step-by-step plan to leave an abusive relationship with God's help. So I look forward to 2022 and more podcasts, more subscribers to my YouTube channel and podcast, and much more impact for the kingdom of God in the area of marital crisis.